Welcome back to the channel. Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, and thank you so much for joining us once again. You already know how it goes here. We keep it real, break things down, and talk about the hottest topics out there. Today, I got something a bit different that I want to break down for you all. I received a video in my inbox, and the message that came with it was very interesting. The person who sent it asked, "Is this real or is this AI?" And when I looked at a certain part of the video, it definitely caught my attention. I was like, hold up, this seems like it could be AI generated, especially because it involved Diddy, a major celebrity. But the title of the video said something like, "Exclusive Diddy Prison Call, Release Exposing Celebrities Involved and Helping Him." Now, I'm not sure if it's real or not, so I'm going to dive into this and react to it. I have no idea if this is authentic, and I want to be cautious and say that everything we discuss here is alleged. I'm just reacting to the video as I see it, and we're going to break it all down together. One thing I will say before we start, you never really know these days with everything that's going on in the world of celebrity, especially with the rise of deep fakes and AI-generated content. There's a lot of rumors floating around about Diddy, so I'm really curious to see where this all leads. Let's not waste any more time and jump into it. Breaking down the prison call. So the video begins with a prison phone call.
There are a lot of strong opinions about this case, and
it's obvious that the quality of the call is bad. You know how those prison phone systems are. They usually have a lot of interference, and the audio isn't clear at all. But what's interesting is that it appears to be a conversation between Diddy and his son. I mean, that's a claim. And honestly, based on what's being said, it seems to be Diddy talking to his son in code, trying to get his point across without giving away too much, because we all know prison phone calls are monitored. Right away, Diddy says something like, "Listen, don't entertain none of this nonsense and don't talk about anything over the phone." Now, that's something smart, right? Because Diddy knows, just like everyone else, that prison phone calls are recorded. So, he's definitely being cautious with his words. The thing is, though, it's hard to understand what exactly he's talking about, and there's a lot of unclear language. This is where things get interesting. As we go deeper into the conversation,
there are a lot of strong opinions about
Diddy
this case,
starts talking about something like pizza boxes. And this is where things start to get a little bit odd. I don't know if I can even say the word out loud, but let's just say we all know what pizza is a code word for. There's been a lot of speculation on the internet about that. Some people think pizza could refer to something much darker, and it's a term that has been used in connection with various conspiracy theories. Now, I don't know if Diddy is using this word in that context, but it's definitely worth pointing out. As for the boxes, that's even more confusing. Diddy says, "Get rid of all the leftover pizza boxes," which could be a way of talking about something that need to be cleaned up or disposed of. I'm not exactly sure what it's referring to, but the mention of pizza and boxes definitely raised some eyebrows. Again, all of this is speculative, and I'm not jumping to conclusions. But if you look into the comment section of the video, a lot of people are talking about the same thing. If anyone knows what these terms could mean, let me know in the comments below. I'm genuinely curious to hear your thoughts on it. What does the pizza and plastic mean? Now, Diddy's conversation goes on, and it gets even more cryptic. He starts talking about plastic and says, "Make sure you recycle the plastic like we talked about." Now, at first, I was a little confused by this. What does plastic have to do with anything? But then it hit me. Plastic could refer to things like CDs, DVDs, or even flash drives. Those things are all made of plastic, and they're often used to store media files or important information. So, in this context, Diddy could be telling his son to get rid of some physical evidence on media files. It's an interesting theory, and it makes sense when you think about it that way. Maybe he's talking about DVDs or USB drives that contain footage of something he doesn't want to be released. The conversation continues with Diddy asking his son, "Where would this stuff be? Is there another secret spot?" This part got me thinking, could he be talking about hidden locations where evidence is stored? Or is he asking about something else entirely? It's really hard to say, but it definitely sounds like Diddy's trying to cover his tracks. At this point, I'm starting to lean toward the idea that this whole conversation might not be real. The way it's worded and the kind of things that are being said just don't sound entirely natural. Maybe it's just the weirdness of the whole conversation, but it doesn't quite add up. I'm starting to wonder if this is an AI-generated deepfake, or if it's really Diddy in prison talking to his son. A possible backup plan? The conversation shifts, and Diddy starts talking about bailing out. He says something along the lines of, "Are you about to get out on bail?" And it seems like he's not too confident about getting out anytime soon. I don't know when this call was recorded, but from the way Diddy is speaking, it seems like he's expecting something to happen, and it didn't. He seems frustrated that whatever backup plan he had in place isn't working. But what's even more interesting is that Diddy talks about a Netflix movie and mentions that there's a release date for it. This is when things get even more strange. Could he be referring to some sort of footage, perhaps related to the case against him, that is trying to control or keep from getting out? It's hard to say, but based on what he's saying, it's clear that Diddy is dealing with something major behind scenes. This could be a reference to some videos or footage that's being shopped out or circulated online. There's even been talk in the media that multiple tapes involving Diddy are out there, and people are trying to sell them. If that's true, then maybe Diddy is just letting his son know that these tapes are out there and that he's trying to manage the situation. The mysterious Jay figure. Another interesting part of the conversation is when Diddy asks his son if Jay reached out. We don't know who this Jay person is, but it's possible that he's referring to Jay-Z given their past relationship. But the way Diddy says it, "Nah, Pop, his ghosting," implies that Jay hasn't been responsive. It's almost like Diddy was expecting something from him and didn't get it. Is it possible that Diddy is relying on his network of celebrity friends to help him, and they're not coming through? We don't have all the details, but this part of the conversation definitely hints at a deeper level of drama. Is it really all a charade? As the conversation continues, Diddy starts talking about how certain celebrities who've been close to him over the years have remained silent about everything going on. People like Kevin Hart, Rihanna, Jay-Z, and Beyoncé have all stayed quiet, despite the media attention surrounding Diddy's situation. Now, Diddy's confidence seems to suggest that he might have something on these people. Maybe he has leverage over them, which could explain why they are not speaking out. Or maybe they are all just staying silent for another reason. Either way, it's clear that Diddy isn't worried about the lawsuits or any legal ramifications. He says that none of the lawsuits really matter because none of them have anything in my name. That's an interesting statement because it ties back to rumors that Diddy has put all his money and assets in his mother's name to protect himself legally. This is something we've heard before, and it makes sense when you think about it. If Diddy has nothing in his name, then it will be hard to sue him for anything. The car situation. Then we get to a part where Diddy seems to be talking about his son Justin, asking him about a car situation. There's a lawsuit from a car company because Justin hasn't been paying his car payments. It's a bit unclear whether Diddy is making the payments for him, or if he's just frustrated with his son's lack of responsibility. Either way, it's a tense moment, and you can hear the frustration in Diddy's voice. The music talk. As the call progresses, King, Diddy's son, starts talking about releasing some music. Diddy, however, shuts him down, saying, "No, don't do that." This part of the conversation is curious, especially since King recently dropped a diss track on 50 Cent and the FBI. So, it's not surprising that Diddy doesn't want him to make any more music that could draw attention to the situation. There's also mention of a list that needs to be signed, but it's unclear what exactly is on this list. Could it be a list of people who need to stay quiet? Is it a list of contracts, NDAs, or some kind of agreement? We don't know, but it sounds like Diddy is trying to keep everything under control and make sure no one talks about what's really going on behind the scenes. Conclusion, is it real or AI? So, after breaking it all down, here's my conclusion. The conversation is weird. It doesn't sound 100% real, and the use of phrases like pizza boxes and plastic raises some serious questions. It could be AI generated, but it could also be a real phone call. In the end, I think it's best to treat everything as speculation for now. What do you think? Does this sound like Diddy, or do you think it's just a product of AI? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoy this breakdown, don't forget to like, share, and comment. And as always, I appreciate you all for stopping by. Until next time, peace out.